I just got back from the best book sale ever. There's this bookstore connected to our local library that usually sells $2 hardcovers and $1 paperbacks. However, on certain days, they have a sale where everything is 50% off. And today was one of those days. So I'm going to show you everything that I got. First up, we have something that actually isn't a book. I have my grandfather's old truck, which does not have Bluetooth or auxiliary cord capabilities built into the radio. Could I get a new radio? Probably, but it's much cheaper to get 50-cent CDs. So up until now, I've kind of been listening to the same Queen CD and Little Mermaid soundtrack anytime I drive, which isn't that often, but still. I'm a big musical fan, so the Andrew Lloyd Webber soundtrack is a must-have. I do kind of wish I found the actual Phantom soundtrack, but this one still has several Phantom songs on it, and a few songs from Cats, so I'm excited about it. I also got this, which looks really boring, but is the soundtrack to the Chicago movie. Do I listen to Chicago that much? No. Does this have Cell Block Tango on it? Yes. So I got it. And finally, I found the soundtrack to a musical which my father hates. I don't know why. I think it is amazing. The musical is Jekyll and Hyde. This thing has songs like Facade, Murder, Murder. I mean, it's good. It is so good, and I will be playing this in the car next time I go driving, Dad. These things were literally 50 cents a piece, okay? That is $1.50 in total. This sale is amazing. But obviously, this isn't a music haul video. This is a book haul video. And don't worry, I got a lot of books. First up in the actual book category, I have Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. So this is actually a side-by-side version where it has the Shakespeare play on one page, and on the other page it has it written in more plain English, which I'm pretty excited about because I am doing a Shakespeare class, and so far that has taught me that I don't really understand how Shakespeare speaks. So I think this is going to be very interesting, and there's a good chance I'll wind up getting more of these. I also like getting really cheap copies of Shakespeare that I don't feel bad about noting, because this is the kind of story that I just want to mark up and highlight, but I feel really bad when I note stuff because I feel like it looks bad. So I can do this because it was literally 50 cents. I will not feel bad about absolutely destroying this book. Okay, so I found this book in the sci-fi section that kind of looks like the book version of those movies Llamageddon and The Velocipaster. It is called Tim, Defender of the Earth. Yeah, that's a T-Rex on it, and it's holding, I think, Big Ben. This book looks honestly hysterical. It is about Tim, Tyrannosaur improved model, and he is the product of a top-secret military experiment, and he forms an unlikely alliance with 14-year-old Chris and his classmate Anna in order to save humanity from the greatest threat it has ever known, Anna's father. So, this looks like fun. Yeah, I was reading off the back of this because in these book sales, you kind of just go through this bookstore, and if it looks cool, you think, well, should I get this? And the answer's always yes, because it's 50 cents. And now for a drastic turn in genres, we have this book, Black Chalk, which is a game of truth or dare that winds up with people dying, and it's set at, I believe, Oxford. Yeah, so Oxford University. It's a game of consequences. Is it truth or dare? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it's just this, I think it's truth or dare without the truth. And it is a psychological thriller, and according to the front, it is the novel you should be reading tonight. I probably will not read this tonight, but I will maybe read it at some point. I don't know, it looks pretty cool. I don't think I've ever actually read a psychological thriller, but this tagline on the front kind of got me, because it's 1 game, 6 students, 5 survivors. I am a little disappointed that only 1 person seems to die, because I think it'd be cool if it was like knocking everyone off, but that's just personal taste. So I think it'll be fun. And now for another dark book, we have Retribution Road. I'm realizing I should be saying the authors. Retribution Road is by Antonin? Why did I choose this book to start saying the authors on? I'm just gonna type it down here. That's the author's name. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. Your book looks cool though. Yeah, so it is a historical epic, a serial killer thriller, and not gonna say one of those words, but it's a good read according to the front cover. As you can see, I know very little about these books. Like, this one is just, if you can see the spine looked cool, the cover's cool, and I don't know, serial killers. I feel like I shouldn't say serial killers are fun. Books about serial killers are intriguing to me. Next up, we have The Rose Labyrinth by Titania Hardy. Yeah, okay. So, this kind of gave me National Treasure vibes when I was reading the synopsis. It has here a riddle to unravel, a legacy to unearth, a heart to mend. Oh, I guess there's like a romantic subplot. Yeah, I don't know anything about these books. Okay, I'm gonna interrupt this video with a little segment that I will be calling I Made a Mistake. So I ran out of storage on my phone, so I was just sitting here kind of looking at the books and everything that I got, and as I was looking at the Chicago CD, I realized that that's not the Chicago CD. If you can see, right here, this label is talking about, oh, it's Chicago, everyone loves Chicago. But if you look at this right behind the label, you will see that that is not Chicago. That is Tom Jones Reloaded, Greatest Hits. So, in hindsight, I believe there were signs which said, hey, maybe check to make sure the CD's the right one. I apparently ignored those. And yeah, I don't think Cell Block Tango's on this. So, that is my bad. I am glad it was only 50 cents. The other two are proper CDs, which is honestly kind of dumb because this one is clear. You can see the CD in it. And I even saw Tom Jones. I thought it was the record label. I don't know why I thought that. So that was a dumb thing for me to do. But now let's get back into talking about books. Okay, so I was talking about this book, The Rose Labyrinth. I don't know what of that take I'm gonna keep or not. I may have to cut it all out because of my camera being weird. So this book looks pretty cool. It gives me kind of like National Treasure vibes. There's this whole ancient mystery that ties back to Queen Elizabeth or her spiritual counselor. I don't know the exact name, but it's basically ancient secrets and they gotta run around and discover them, and my guess is that it will end in a rose labyrinth. So it looks like a lot of fun, and it is definitely what it says it is. Next up, we have this book called The Physick, P-H-Y-S-I-C-K. I don't know if that's a word which I should know and I'm just blanking on. I'm gonna pronounce it as Physick, Book of Deliverance Dame. So this goes back to like the Salem witch trials, which I've read one other book. Well, I've read multiple books about Salem witch trials, but I've read one other book, which was a YA book, which was really just like dark and spooky, and I really enjoyed it. And this one says spooky on the cover. I don't know if you can see, but it specifically says spooky. And I was apparently in a very kind of like gothic spooky mood when I was book shopping, because I got the Jekyll and Hyde soundtrack, which is like a gothic-y musical. I thought I was getting a musical about murder, but I wasn't. And then I got, several thrillers and that book about the... And to follow up that spooky book, we have this book, The Last Apprentice. I said that right. Yeah, The Last Apprentice, Revenge of the Witch. And it actually says on the back that this book will haunt you, and don't read it after dark. I kind of think this is actually a middle grade book, because I know I've seen this before, but it looked neat, so I found the sci-fi section, and they apparently made a movie out of it. And that brings us to our final book. Now, as you can probably tell, I don't know much about these books. There was, I think, one or two, including Romeo and Juliet, which I'd heard of before, so I really don't even know what, like, genre, age range they're for. Most of these are probably actually adult ones, because there wasn't really anything in the YA section. But this book, called The Reader, looks YA to me. I don't know if it actually is, but just this cover looks so YA with all the colors and the sleek font. I feel like I'm describing it bad. It's a gorgeous cover, but it gives me YA vibes with it. It is about someone who can't read, I think. Hang on. Okay, we have the murder of a father. So, yeah, I'm thinking YA. And then the only person she can trust is kidnapped. So reading is unheard of in her world, and she finds a book. And the book leads her to people. So this should be fun. It's very pretty, if nothing else, and will look wonderful on my shelf. So in total, I got 8 books and 3 CDs, only 2 of which were what I thought they were. But that is definitely on me. I really should have looked closer and actually checked the CD. So word of advice to you, if you're shopping at like used bookstores or anything, just check the CDs because they may not be what they're supposed to be. And I don't think Tom Jones is anything like Chicago. Now, what you're probably wondering is how much did all of this cost? Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, paperbacks are 50 cents, hardcovers are $1, and these CDs, not you, were also 50 cents. So all of these things combined brings us to a grand total of $6.50 for this giant stack. If that is not the best book sale, I don't know what is, but please tell me.